Hello, students and colleagues. I hope you all are doing well. Today is July 26th. I'm greeting you in my weekly message to talk a little bit about how things are going in my world, and hopefully yours is going well. Now, I will share with you, when I just said July 26th, I thought, oh my God, summer is flying. When did that happen? And the number of conversations I've had in the elevators and the hallways and byways of the institution, I am struck by the number of people who comment that at one point, we used to think of summer as the downtime where things slowed down some and we had the opportunity to really regroup and rest. I will tell you that summer is starting to look a lot different in that space as we're being far more planful, I think, and intentional as we think about how we can think deeply about this work that we do here at Nevada State and prepare for the next academic year. So I want to thank all of you who are actively engaged as we're doing the preparations that are necessary, but also very important, those of you who are resting. I hope that you're doing that and taking a little time to slow down. If nothing else, I hope you're enjoying the weather, including the rain. Okay, I understand what a monsoon season is now, but I hope that you are taking the time to get recharged, which I think is part of what summer is about. The last time I greeted you was right after the special board meeting, and we've continued to move right forward as an institution. I held a 2-day retreat with my executive team as we started to talk about in depth some of the key issues affecting the institution, but more importantly, being planful, not only about operations, but about communication. How will we ensure that the decisions that we are being charged to make are going to be made with lots of feedback and opportunities for everyone to contribute to that. I also had the opportunity to meet with our new acting chancellor, Chancellor Urquiaga. We're so grateful to the way in which he's come into this space and looking forward to working with him and supporting him. I also continued my meetings with our leadership team, both our classified council leader as well as our faculty leaders, as they continue to give me perspective about the various constituencies here within the institution. And of course, our student leader had a wonderful opportunity to spend time with Tessa as well. I also launched the Southern Nevada State Board of Counselors. We had our first meeting. This followed one earlier this summer where we met with the Northern contingency. We'll be bringing both groups together this fall. Really important, though, they're offering me perspectives and insights about the institution from their vantage point, but also talking about the value proposition that we must articulate in the spaces in which we operate. I want to thank them for their contributions to Nevada State already. Externally, I met with our colleagues at Roseman University, looking how we can establish deeper partnerships and think deeply, very deeply, about the healthcare industry here in Southern Nevada, and deeply about how we can work together to produce the outcomes that are necessary in that. I attended the President's Summer Council, the Association of State Colleges and Universities, where we spent a considerable amount of our energy anticipating the future in a post-COVID reality, talking about a certain level of toxic environment around our politics and how that is manifesting itself in the work that we do. How do we look at being far more transparent in our leadership styles? And also at the end of the day, how do we collaborate? Because I think that's the new currency. I also did a tour of VU Studios. It's amazing right here in the Tri-Valley. The day I was there, they had the opportunity of securing their first major film. So we are quite delighted about some things that we might be doing with them to really grow this film industry that we're seeing here in Southern Nevada. And then I'll just put a little tease out for a meeting I had, and hopefully you'll be hearing more later about some conversations I have with my friends and colleagues at Apple. I think there's some ways in which we might be able to do some truly innovative things here in Nevada State with them. Couple observations. I think as I've gone through this, in summer, I tend to live in my head a lot anyway, but summer gives me an opportunity to really be intentional about reflection. And I've been thinking a lot about our mission. You all have heard me talk about this a lot over this last year, but I think about this more as I see more and more people questioning the value of higher education. When I see that the United States, I think we're now in the lowest point in the last 20 years in terms of public's opinion about the value of higher education. But here's the part that I think is interesting. When you talk about higher higher education writ large, you hear that opinion. But when you talk about the institutions that are most closely aligned with the communities that we serve, that narrative becomes different. So I'm thinking a lot about how we take our narrative about what Nevada State does to the community, how we talk about our value proposition in ways that translate in our community, and most importantly, how do we continue to adapt? We're 20 years old, and the thing that makes us, I think, most effective is our ability to be responsive. So one of my favorite quotes of all time, and you'll hear me say it all the time, it might be my next tattoo: stand in your own space and know you're there. You all have heard me say this time and time again. I don't want to be any other institution. I want Nevada State to be us, and that means we want to be resolute in this mission that we have. There's a moral imperative. Here's this dirty secret that we need to put out there. Nevada needs us to be successful. We are a part of the success story of this community, and if we don't do our work well, then the whole state fails. And that's why I know what we're doing is mattering, because people are looking at us and we know for a fact that we're delivering on this mission. As we get ready for the fall semester, as we continue to slide into the rest of the summer, I hope you continue to practice some self-care. I'm doing that. Watch the COVID numbers. Make sure that you're being aware of the various strands that are continuing to evolve. Other types of issues that are affecting our community. Practice self-care. One of the things I've learned about this in terms of public health is that as much as it is about the public's commitment to helping us take care of ourselves, it's about us taking care of ourselves and making that a high priority for us. The institution is growing up every day. We're going to start celebrating our 20th anniversary this fall. And what I think is important about that, 20 is an important time. I don't know about you all, but I remember 20. And it was a moment when I was realizing I was no longer a teenager, and I was starting to make some decisions about my future. And I'm hopeful that we as an institution will assume that same posture. We are doing phenomenal work in this community and in this state. Let's make sure that we continue to rise up to what their needs are in the future. Take care and be well.